Hi, Kelsy. Thank you for joining me on the Ozso podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Second timer for the series, which is great. The only guest we've ever had back for a round two, so
I love that.
Take that as you will. Maybe you did an amazing job, or maybe we didn't learn enough about you. I'm not sure which one
There's
yet.
just more. You just want more Kelsy. This is what we need.
Is there such thing as not enough Kelsy?
I haven't found that situation yet. That's correct.
So maybe tell us a little, for our audience that haven't tuned in before. I think your job title is a great place to kick off here.
Yes.
You work for Seek.
I do. I work for Seek, and I am a senior security influencer. I've moved up in the world since last time. And basically my job is to mitigate human risk. It's to understand how we engage in problematic security behavior and how we can change that behavior, but not just in your general, I'm going to create a training module or I'm going to create a policy, actually starting to identify what are the problems, what are the patterns, what are the norms, and try to mitigate those and try to change those.
And actually bring people.
Yeah, actually talk about people, I know.
Crazy.
Not technology, whoa.
So, I've known you for a long time. And look, I think this could go on many tangents with your many skills, but we'll try to stick to cybersecurity for a little bit. You started in that criminology research space.
Correct.
What was it about security culture and cyber behavior that pulled you into cybersecurity as an industry?
Look, I think it was actually, it really just happened by chance. So we started in criminology. I was doing a lot with policing. I was doing evidence-based policing. So I was trying to understand how do people respond specifically to the police? Why do we comply, and how can we increase compliance in that voluntary way? So not because this is the stick and you have to do it, this is the law, in a, well, I want to do it because this is best for society or this is going to have the best outcome. So I was working in that space and I was doing truancy and drug crimes, and then there was a research...
Some light things there.
Yeah, I know, just little small things day to day. And then it got even lighter because they were like, why don't you do child exploitation work? And I was like, no, that sounds like a hard pass for me. But it really did open up that door of, well, there's a whole online world that I haven't looked at yet, and everything was moving online. Drug crimes were moving online, and how we were engaging with people was changing, right? So even organized crime, which we dabbled in the research a little bit, was online. Yeah. And so for me, it was this really natural progression to go, I understand crimes, I understand why people do physical crimes. Well, how do they then engage in an online world, online sphere, and what does that then look at? And it really did change how we engaged. It changed our threat landscape. We didn't have one-on-one crimes. It was, I have a 1 on 1,000.
Yeah.
And so that was such an interesting...
multiplier effect.
Exactly right. Because, it's cheap to buy information. It's easy to now contact multiple people. It's not that time consuming. And so for me, it was just like, here's an opportunity. You have a really good skill set in terms of understanding humans and behavior. How can we try to decrease victimization online in the cybersphere? And look, I'm going to be brutally honest. They're like, this is a great skill set. Here's security culture and awareness. Why don't you get into that role? That's the only one you qualified for. I was like, yes.
Accidentally tumble that direction.
Why don't I? Yes.
And now you're a security influencer, so there you go.
I am.
It worked.
Thank you. Look, I think it's one of those skill sets where now that I'm in the industry, I think people devalue it. I think we look at it as, oh, you're not technical, or oh, you don't have GRC experience, you don't have this experience. And the more time that I spend here, the more I'm going, actually, you need these skill sets. You need these human factors.
You're actually missing my skill set, not the other way around.
Exactly right. And look, we've expanded our team as well at Seek, and what we look for are people that understand humans. That's what we want. We want people with a marketing background. We want people with some sort of behavioral science, because that's what's going to ultimately change behavior, and that's what's going to make us more secure. So yeah, tumbled into this completely, but...
Love it.
Yeah.
So you did a tutorial for us at the Ozso conference, and I always love your titles, and it was called How to Actually Change Security Behavior Without the BS. I can't think of other acronyms that BS could stand for, so it should be good.
Surprise!
What's the biggest piece of security culture BS you see organizations still clinging on to at this point?
Look, I think the biggest BS is that people say, well, we just need to create more awareness and people are going to change the behavior. And you're like,
first.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, right? Like, just because you know something doesn't mean you're going to do it.
Online once a year.
Yeah,
Cyber
do
training.
Compliance training, and we'll be safe and secure.
We're done.
Yeah, exactly. Tick, ISO certified. Thank you so much. I just think we're missing a huge opportunity, and I think it's really problematic when the extent of our conceptualization of behavior is, well, if someone knows, they're going to do it. And absolutely not. Like, you need to know it, you need to have the ability, and you need to have the trigger to do it. You need to know when to do it. And yeah, I just hate it when people devalue the job. And like, I know I've said this before and I will say it from the rooftops, but like, I'm not the awareness girl. I'm not here to do your little trainings and your like Slack notifications and, oh, here's a poster. Absolutely not. Like, that does not change anything. It's part of it, but no, like, that's, I think, the biggest misconception, and it's just the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. And oh, so, like, a grad can do it. No, a grad can support, but you need someone that actually understands what's going on to change this.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I think there's always this like, oh, that's just that lowly kind of thing, you know, that's fine. It can be done by a woman over there in the corner.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I make this joke all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm the woman. I'm obviously in security culture. And like, I am, right? But I hate that.
I am, but I'm not.
I am, but I'm amazing at it. Thank you. But it's really, it is funny, right? Like, because we really diminish the role, and it's one of those first roles that people will cut when there's, you know, we don't have enough funding, we don't have enough budget.
Yeah.
We need to let culture and awareness go, and we really do need to reframe it as, it's not awareness, it's not just changing culture, this is behavior.
Yes.
This is you engaging with your policy. This is making sure that people are doing the right thing. They're not engaging in shadow AI, whatever it might be. We are doing behavior change, and it's such a different way to think about it, and I think that's the biggest misconception and the biggest bit of BS that I hear in the industry.
So in your workshop you asked the question, what's the dumbest security rule you've ever been told to follow? Mm-hmm. So I want to know what your answers were to that question, because it's fascinating.
Honestly, I think the dumbest things that people said that they heard is, and I hear this all the time in my business too, is like, well, I've got a firewall, so I'm safe. And they're like, that's the best rule you can follow. Have a firewall and we're done.
Oh, we're on Apple, so it's secure.
Yeah, exactly right. And also, I think the biggest one is, security will tell me when I do something wrong. Absolutely not. Like, how many endpoints do we have to monitor? Like, no. And I think that's, again, a misconception of what we do and how people respond, and actually the security industry. And people are not tech savvy. We have technology with us every day and we use it every day, but they're not understanding the threats and how people abuse them and manipulate them. And so just, yeah, the biggest lies is, yeah, you'll be safe with a firewall, or you'll be fine with this, or just don't click on anything. Like, yeah, okay, I won't do my job. That's fine. I'll never click on anything ever again. Yeah. There's a lot of misconceptions, and I think people, they don't understand it. They don't take the time to understand it. And us as security professionals, we don't take the time to explain it in a way that makes sense.
That's kind of the one thing that I've learned, particularly in our organisation over the years. I think for a long time people were just like, I just told you not to, so just don't.
Exactly.
Like, but where's the explanation of why or how or what actually happens? Mm-hmm. And I remember for a long time, you know, there are people that click on a link and they'd be like, oh, cyber hates me because I clicked on a link, but they have no idea what happens when they clicked on that link or what the effects were. Or
Absolutely. And it's quite funny because we have a repeat clickers program, and the amount of people are like, I just wanted to click on it to see what had happened. I'm like, then why did you do it 5 times? Like, was it going to be different the 5th time that you clicked on it? What? Yeah. And then but we get to the point where we have one-on-one conversations, and I just start unpacking. I'm like, what's going wrong here? Where have we misunderstood?
Where have we failed?
Where have we failed? Am I not funny enough? Like, don't you pay attention? But yeah, look, humans are complex.
They are.
They are, yeah. And it makes my job so much more fun trying to understand.
You're very boring without them.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a job without them. So I'm really thankful that people are unique and special in their jobs sometimes, yeah. And
it's not a like, okay, we do this and everyone just complies. And
it's the 80-20 rule, right? Most of the time, 80%, they're going to follow the rules. It's those 20% that are...
Yeah, is there an actual, I'm putting you on the spot, is there a statistic? So I have heard that a lot about, you know, when people run phishing campaigns and everything to test their workforce, there is like a huge component of people that are just like, well, I just want to see what happens. I just click it anyway. I know it's bogus. But.
Yeah, look, and it's not 20%, but there is definitely a small minority of people that will just keep engaging, keep clicking.
It's wide up for chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Just hazardous, I don't know. I just wanted to have some fun in their job, but it is...
I have to admit, I can see the temptation. Like,
yeah, I send really good phishing simulations. Like, I make them spicy. I do a lot of good ones on rewards. I'm like, hey, you've been recognized as a company, and people are like, yeah, I definitely deserve this.
I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for acknowledging my excellence. Okay, love that for you. But no, it definitely is a small percentage that keep
I have to
doing
admit,
the
I'm
same
more in the
behaviors.
ultra paranoid camp. I'll be the one that's reported something that's a real email. Why did you
Yeah, no, I love you. I love you for that. And it's so funny because I have this conversation with people in the security team, and they're like, "Oh, I just want them to stop reporting all these emails." I'm like, "No, please."
No, the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the examples that I use, every tutorial, every presentation I've ever run, is this idea where, I would rather you report more than get chastised for it. And so we've had this person in one of our teams, and they kept going on about it. They're like, phishing and spam are different things, and you need to understand the difference as an end user. And I'm like, why? Why would you need to understand the difference? Helpful, but I just want you reporting it. I don't want you sitting there on your laptop going, is this spam? Should I block it or should I report this because it's phishing? I don't care. Report it.
Same result. Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly. Don't engage with it. Report it. If it's spam, let's go block it. But otherwise, I don't need you having another choice in your life.
Yeah.
The more choices we have, the harder it is to make any action.
More decisions. Yeah.
Exactly right. That's why the best menus in a restaurant, they only have a couple of options, chicken or beef, right? And then you're like, oh, which one am I going to have?
You haven't been to Cafe 63 then.
I have too many options. That's why I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Less options, the better.
Yeah. Make it easy. Make it easy. So your research uses eye tracking technology to understand how people respond to cyber threats.
Correct.
What have you discovered that surprised you most about the way humans interact with phishing emails and general online risks?
Yeah, look, I think the most surprising thing is how unaware people are of very common scams. And so what was really eye-opening, because I went into my PhD research and I was like, look, I'm going to test these really amazing threats, and this is going to be the deciding factor between whether or not someone can recognize it and how effective my nudges are. And so we had business email compromise, and we had this Zoom troubleshooting one before it was used by actual threat actors. Oh, I should be a cyber criminal. I've nailed this.
Same skills?
Same skills. Here we go. Not a cyber criminal. No one buy me, please. I'm very happy being a good guy. But the people that just didn't know a PayPal threat, and we made it so obvious. Yeah. We made it really obvious.
I think we forget what people don't know. We take it for granted.
We really do. And I looked at this thinking everyone's going to pick up on it. The subject line was really long. It had random characters, and the domain
all
was
the obvious stuff.
Yeah, it was hot sauce 123, and you're like, of course that's not PayPal, and it had no name and no proper salutation. It had grammatical errors. Literally the scams that we were looking at.
Scam 101, old school.
Right, yeah, before AI, before you could actually update it and make it really, really good. And people did not identify it. People would be like, oh, I'll get back to that later. Are we serious? And so for me, that was so eye-opening. And they would look at what they had to look at. They would look at the domain. They would actually have a hotspot on it in terms of their eye tracking, and they would scan the information in normal patterns, your F patterns, and still they wouldn't pick up on it. And then I think the other interesting thing is we had nudges in our experiment to see how can I get you to report it. Does the report phishing button work? Does it help if I have a normative standard by saying everyone here reports phishing, or everyone is here to, protect each other? And they would have this already in their heads, right? We would give them literally the screen where I'm like, oh, I need to calibrate you for a minute. And they would physically look at the slogan. They would physically look at the button. And then they would look at the information and they'd be like, oh yeah, that's the real email.
Legit.
Yeah. And I think it's just fascinating how, I don't even know what it is. Is it just we're so desensitized to it? Is it that we're acting so fast? Is that time sensitivity? Is it just that people get nervous?
It's literally just blocked out of.
Yeah. And they just couldn't identify it, couldn't respond, wouldn't report it. It's crazy. So I think that's the most eye-opening thing, and it's the thing that I always come back to, where people aren't dumb. We're just not wired necessarily to remember that's a threat. We're not wired to identify even when we look at the right things.
It's kind of nice that people think positively, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's
humans are good. Yeah.
But that's going to be even worse now that AI has gotten into writing these phishing scams, and they're not full of good, all that old school awareness kind of goes out the window because they look legit.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem, is that cyber scams move so fast. And a lot of us are still perpetuating the same messages that we did a couple years ago. This is how you look for phishing, or this is what you need to look out for. But we've moved past that.
Yeah.
And so we are now trying to train people who, are on their computers and are on their phones all the time, but don't have the actual basic understanding of how to identify it, how can it be spoofed, like how can someone manipulate you online? And it's moving so fast and we're just not catching up. And so where do you then train and intervene? How do you understand that human behavior to actually protect them? And I think a lot of times this is a really big misconception. People are like, well, just block it. Just put in all these safeguards. And you're like, but I put in email, blocking and I filter it out, then they're just going to call you. They're just going to manipulate you on the phone. Like, we're not solving the problem. We're just pushing the problem elsewhere. We're displacing it. Yeah, that's such a big problem.
Gosh, we're a bit doom and gloom.
We are. Let's perk this up a little bit. What are positives? Yes.
I mean, speaking of which, I think a lot of organisations do go on the fear. We're driving these fear campaigns. Like, so, right. The world's ending. Why are you doing this? So what makes communication actually resonate with people? Like, how do you get them to tune in and be on your wave?
Yeah. Look, I think there's a few things there. Firstly, I think people need to understand that fear-based messaging is never effective. When people are in a state of fear, they're actually more susceptible to falling victim to specific crimes and cyber crimes. And so if we are going doom and gloom and fear, it's not going to work. It's going to be counterintuitive and we're actually going to have a negative impact. The way that we want to, I guess, get people to listen, and this is a model that I presented back in my tutorial, but basically what we want to do is have elements of a trustworthy motive. So you need to make it relevant to them. What is the why? Why do they care? And it's not because security is everyone's responsibility. It's not because you just don't want to be a victim. Exactly right. But it's relevant to them and to their job or to their family, whatever it is. So we need a trustworthy motive to get them to listen. We need to treat them with dignity and respect. So I need to acknowledge and hear that I'm causing friction in your process. I am security. I'm a blocker.
Yeah.
But I'm a blocker for a reason. And I identify this as going to be.
How can we minimize the block?
Exactly right. So we need to have trustworthy motive, dignity and respect, neutrality. Like, I'm not doing this because you are the worst person in the organization. I'm not doing this because you are a risk. I'm doing this because everyone needs to do this, or everyone with this specific criteria or criterion is doing this. And then create a dialogue, right? The last component is you actually need to get people to talk to you and understand. Because if you don't tell me what you don't know, I can't help you know that. If you don't tell me what's hurting you and blocking you, I can't overcome that. And so when we start adding in those components, we move away from fear, we add in those components, and then we actually just start doing it more and more. We are absolutely inundated with messages. We are inundated with information. My phone is going off, I can see notifications coming up, I'm thinking about family issues, and then I go home and what do? I'm on social media. And I'm spending 2 seconds getting that dopamine hit.
Go from my work screen to my fun screen.
It's all the time. I go to the toilet and I'm like, who's going to get a toilet like always on a screen, right? And then the problem is that our brains, because of that dopamine hit, they don't work properly. And so when we do security messaging and when we're trying to change behavior, we need to be thinking about, well, how can I get you to take in this information quickly?
Yep.
How can you see it multiple times that you're actually going to remember it? Because right now, you need something 20 to 50 times before you remember it, before you can actually recall it, before it goes into action. And that's insane. Like, any other job, think of that. You're like, I need to do this 20 to 50 times before I get a behavior change. Ridiculous. Like, people would laugh you out the building.
I've heard you say it in prison, and I do that at work all the time. I'm like, why are they not listening? I haven't said it 20 times yet.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, like, I can even say it to someone point blank. And then a month later, I'll say it to them again, and they're like, yeah, that's really interesting. I've never heard that before. And I'm like, I said it to you. What do you mean? And there's definitely specific people that say it more often.
Yeah.
But that's the way that we need to...
Towards the 50 one? Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's all, like, very young and then, like, kind of our older demographic as well. And I feel like those are the ones that have been most susceptible. But it's really quite fascinating. Yeah. And how we then need to respond and how we need to engage, very different to what we normally think. And so, yeah, the most effective messaging is having those components: trustworthy, neutrality, dignity, respect, allowing people to talk, having that voice, so many touch points throughout the, engagement or the campaign.
Putting the people back in here is,
and making them front and center, and actually thinking about how a person works and operates and their behaviors and their patterns. And I don't think we have that skill set very often in the security industry. No. And this is where like, I think we need to really start being a little bit more diverse in who we hire and why we hire people. Like, I am such an advocate for, I would much rather have a smart person who knows a lot about a lot of different things, or sorry, a little bit about a lot of different things in my team, because if they're smart, they're going to pick it up.
Yeah.
They're going to think it differently, right? Rather than someone who is a technical expert. I don't care. Like, I need someone to be smart and approach this problem in a way that's going to make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I lean that way myself in, and that's why I think I like it. I like you because you just like validate my ways of thinking and reasoning.
Good.
But it's so true. There's some skills you can't teach people.
No.
So if they're only on this like one little highway,
Yeah.
they're not going to bring in this other information or learn or expand into it. So it's
It's quite interesting because I remember having this debate with my boss about who we wanted to bring into the culture team. And when we were hiring and when we were interviewing, everyone that came through was the security awareness specialist. And it was, people that had been in the industry for a very long time and they had the same skill sets, but they all approached the problem from the same way.
Yeah.
And it was what they'd been doing for the last 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, whatever it is, but it was all approaching it from the same way. And the problem with that is, like, the security industry isn't evidence-based. It is very vendor-based.
Yes.
And so when we do things that we continue to do it just because it's what we've always done, it's actually not best practice. And so I remember saying to my boss, I'm like, can we just please interview these people? Like, can we please interview a training manager or like a customer success manager? Because they understand people. Can we interview like this marketing person? Like, just see how they approach the problem. And if they don't understand security, like, we can teach them security.
Yeah, that part we can get.
Absolutely. Like, they just need to know more than the people that we're training.
Yeah.
But I want them to be someone that can approach this problem differently and actually solve the human problem.
And sometimes just fresh eyes and a fresh view is enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, like, and honestly, I'm going on a tangent. Bear with me.
Do you need a soapbox?
Please. Do I get a stand? That'd be great. But I think, like, the biggest problem is we all want a senior. And we all want someone with all of this experience in the industry that sometimes we're not getting the fresh blood that we actually need to make this industry better. And I think it really is a disadvantage. And I think it's harder for our grads to get in. It's harder to get that kind of people getting upskilled and having new ideas and maybe having different methods that they've learned about. But also, I just think it's problematic now that we base a lot of who we hire on kind of the certs and the qualifications.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, every other part of cyber is so, here's the framework, step by step, follow all this exactly.
Yeah.
And now we've got this other part that's like, actually, you should throw all that out and look at things differently.
Yeah.
So it's like this polar opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there's so many people that get by, and not just this industry, it's every industry, based on, oh, well, I spent $5,000 on this certificate, and so, I'm obviously the expert here. No, you're not. What are you talking about? Like, I actually really value and respect people that, like one of my favorite people to work with doesn't have a degree. And he's like, I have worked my way up. I have been the dumbest person in this room.
Life experience is where I am.
Exactly right. And they're like, I didn't understand this, so I asked and I learned. And I didn't get a tick and flick certificate. I actually figured it out, and this is why I'm here and this is what I'm doing. And so I think the more that we can get an industry where we have that diversity of thought and approaching problems differently, the better. Because our cyber criminals, they're from all walks of life, right? They're not like, I'm going to get my cyber criminal certificate. Thank you very much. Done.
I'll follow the cyber criminal framework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's my cyber criminal university and done. Like, they approach things differently. So we need to be approaching the solutions differently. And this is why, like, some vendors as well, like, they're really scrappy startups. I'm like, yes, please show me what you can do.
Yeah. You talk about cultural camouflage. And like adapting to workplace. And I've loved your examples. I've heckled you in.
Please heckle away. I love this.
I'm sure there was a heckle about Summer I Turned Pretty at one point.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about those sort of like workplace archetypes? So like it's, who's the hardest one do you think to crack?
Yeah, look, I think it's really interesting, right? Because
or do they all have an
end? You can get into all of them. It's just some of them.
You're determined.
You're determined enough. I think honestly, you just need to watch them, right? So when I talk about the concept of cultural camouflage, it's kind of learning and watching the culture that you're working in.
Yeah, by the way, this is like my most validating thing. I was like, I didn't have a name for this, but this is how I work.
Yeah. Absolutely. and it's so funny because I feel like people do this very naturally, and
well, some people
very
clever people.
Us, we're amazing and we're beautiful. It's actually really funny though, because I had a boss, and I was like, I'm not even insulted by this, but they're like, Kelsy, you realize you probably have autism. And I'm like, I probably do. And I just mask my way in every situation. But that's, I think, the key here, right? Is understanding that within an organization, within a company, any kind of social groups, right? We have a overarching norm and culture, and then there's kind of norms within them, right? And so I like to talk about this law at our division level or kind of our role-based level, right? Mm-hmm. And depending on who it is will be how I kind of talk to them or how I communicate a message. So, you know, at Seek, we have lots of different people. We're a tech company, but we also have salespeople. And so when I talk to my salespeople, I try to be more outgoing. I try to be that little bit more like, oh, how is this? Oh my God, this is amazing. Yes, you're fantastic. And I start picking up the language and how they respond very, very differently.
Bit of chameleon.
Exactly right. And that's where it comes from. Whereas when I'm talking to leaders or more serious roles, then I tailor it back. I have less of an American accent. I stop saying like and so much. Like I really do start tailoring my language and references for them.
Yeah. And then you've got like, you know, your little devs in the corner, so you're gonna you're not gonna come full energy at them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little bit more introverted. I'll have a one-on-one conversation with them. I'll drop references to Star Wars. Like I'll go watch it. I'm like, oh no, what do I need to know here? But you know enough about a few things that you can have that conversation. Yeah. And I think the best thing to do with those hard people in an organization, and they are often the ones that think they know better. Yeah. They're often the ones that will look at me as a woman and go, she doesn't know tech. Or, you know, someone with my accent, my hair, and my makeup, and they're like, she's an idiot, right? And those I think are the hardest ones.
She comes again.
Yeah, exactly right. What is she gonna do? She's gonna give us a cheer. I am, because former American cheerleader, whoop whoop. And I think those are the hardest ones to get on side. Yeah. But I think that's different than for everyone, right? Like, I think
it's not once again, it's not one size fits all. So yeah.
Exactly. It's who you have in the organization and who you have trying to engage with those people. And for me, it's such an important thing to watch and to listen. And I will be there doing recon. Like I'll be looking on Slack groups. I will look at conversations. I will look at the things that they've raised. And then I'm going to start adapting and asking questions and start integrating myself.
You're building trust and camaraderie. It just makes sense.
And once we know, like, and trust someone, we are more likely to do what they ask.
Yeah.
And I think this is honestly one of my superpowers is one, being a chameleon and changing. But two, I literally just ask for help. Like, because if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's my motto here. So I will go and I'll be like, I really need your help to do this. Or I really want you to do this. And the best thing is as a woman, people are more inclined to help. Socially constructed, I love this for me. I will use it to my advantage. Do I think it's how we should be in society? No, but I'm going to use it.
Might as well have a perk.
Absolutely, right? You want to give me a disadvantage? Hello, this is my new advantage right now. But it's really fascinating. And so I think when it comes to different cultures, we need to understand them, and then we need to act how we can best in them. So for any person that is trying to change a behavior, you need to know what you're changing. You need to know that culture, and you need to start adapting. And I'm not telling you to be a completely different person. I'm not be like, Beck, you are now going to be Kelsy, and this is how you're going to behave.
My persona.
We're going to dye our hair and put on a suit. Absolutely not, right? But
it's just that connection. Yeah.
Exactly right. And like just little things, right? Like a little bit of an appearance, like maybe I'll tie my hair up, maybe I'll not wear high heels, like something like that, but it's enough to kind of make that change and adapt. Like I'll sometimes wear, you know, something like I'm wearing now, which is more casual, but got kind of a business shirt. If I'm talking to my techie peoples, you watch me put a conference t-shirt on, right? I will tie my hair up, I'm not gonna wear makeup, and I'm just trying to make myself a little bit more relatable. And I think the more we start understanding that, the better it is. And again, it's I say this as if it's the easiest thing in the world. Just be camouflage.
So simple. Yeah,
it's hard. Like it is really, really hard. And I'm gonna come back to it. It's probably like my ADHD. It is probably like something neurologically spicy about me. Superpower. I'm gonna use it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, look, I think I could talk to you all day, to be honest. Like, and sometimes we will.
We should do this again. Part 3.
Exactly. For now, we'll wrap it up, and I think we've given some people some ideas about where they can work on.
Yeah, hopefully.
There'll be a bit more camouflage and chameleon happening out there.
I love that. We're going to change security behaviors one person at a time.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.